In this session, we're stripping away the mysticism to explore the physics of delusion. We'll use the technical framework of active inference to understand how our brains architect reality. By analyzing the variational free energy equation, we can quantify the trade-offs between divergence and entropy. Today, we'll deconstruct the biological mechanics of sensory attenuation and action enslavement, revealing how our internal models can actually override the external world. Most manifestation advice feels like pseudoscience because it lacks a physical mechanism. You can't simply wish reality into existence. That violates the fundamental laws of thermodynamics. But there is a biological alternative. The real secret isn't magic. It's a biological algorithm known as the free energy principle. By leveraging how your nervous system actually processes information and minimizes uncertainty, you shift from high vibrations to a hard-coded neural strategy for interacting with the world. We traditionally view the brain as a camera, passively recording the world around us. But modern neuroscience suggests a radical shift. The brain is actually a projector. Through predictive coding, our minds generate internal models of reality, projecting expectations onto our environment. We only expend energy processing the differences when reality fails to match those predictions. Ultimately, what you perceive isn't the world exactly as it is. It's a calculated compromise between your expectations and actual sensory input. At the core of every biological system lies a single fundamental imperative: the minimization of free energy. Think of free energy as surprise, the mathematical gap between what we predict will happen and the sensations we actually receive. To survive and resist the inevitable pull of entropy, the brain must constantly work to align expectation with reality. By closing this gap, we reduce internal stress and ensure our continued existence in an unpredictable world. Stress is essentially a prediction error, a gap between our internal expectations and the external world. To close this gap and reduce that stress, we have two choices. We can take path A, perceptual inference, where we update our beliefs to match reality, like accepting the statement, "I am broke." Or we can choose path B, active inference, where we take action to change our reality to match our vision, such as deciding, "I will work until I am wealthy." Both methods resolve the error, but only one changes your future. Perception is often just a mechanism for lowering our standards. When reality fails to meet our expectations, many of us choose what's called perceptual inference. Instead of working to change the world around us, we simply lower our internal goals until they align with our current state. This closes the stress gap instantly, providing a sense of relief or acceptance, but it leaves reality exactly as it was, completely unchanged. To change reality, you must first refuse to accept it. Think of action as the byproduct of a massive prediction error. When we hold a high-precision standard that contradicts our current data, it creates internal stress, or free energy. Rather than updating your internal model to fit a lackluster reality, you act. You discharge that tension by forcing the world to realign with your vision until the gap is finally closed. How do we hold a false belief without losing our minds? It's all about precision weighting. Imagine your brain has a volume knob for reality versus internal vision. To maintain a delusion, you simply treat sensory evidence as low-precision noise and turn up the volume on your internal simulation. By assigning a higher precision to your priors than to the external world, you effectively filter out any mismatch, allowing you to inhabit a reality of your own making. Think about the paradox of movement. To move, you must first become numb. When your brain decides to move your arm, it actually hallucinates that the movement has already happened, choosing to ignore the sensory data telling you are still. This is sensory attenuation. The deeper insight here is profound. You cannot act on a reality you fully accept. To create the next version of your work or your life, you must have the courage to ignore the now. A thermostat is a masterclass in active inference. It holds a fixed prior, an ideal state of 72 degrees. When sensory data reports a chilly 60, the thermostat doesn't just accept that reality or get discouraged, it treats that gap as an error and takes immediate action, igniting the furnace until the world matches its expectation. To be the thermostat is to stop merely reacting to your environment and start actively shaping it until reality complies with your vision. We often think of movement as a conscious choice, but the concept of action enslavement suggests a more mechanical reality. When your brain holds a high-precision prior belief and external reality is attenuated, it creates a massive proprioceptive prediction error. To resolve this mathematical discrepancy, the brain dumps free energy directly into the motor system. You don't try to act. Your body is effectively forced to move, to reconcile its internal model with the physical world. In this framework, movement isn't a choice. It's a biological necessity to maintain equilibrium.
Stop wishing and start modeling. The first step in our protocol is to set a high-precision prior. This means defining your target state as an absolute truth with a probability of 1.0. It isn't a hope, it's a hard data point that your internal system treats as reality. Be careful. Any doubt lowers this precision, which can cause the entire action to abort. To move forward, you must treat the goal as an inevitability.
Protocol step 2 is about deleting the noise. When you face failures, rejections, or even a zeroed-out bank balance, you must treat those data points as low-precision sensor noise. Do not update your internal model based on faulty readings. If the sensor is broken, you simply ignore the output. By lowering the gain on your current reality to 0, you protect your long-term vision from the static of temporary setbacks. Now we reach step 3, action dynamics. This is where theory meets physical reality. By fixing our priors and stripping away the noise, we create a massive prediction error that the system is forced to discharge. Action becomes the mechanism to resolve this tension. As reflex acts engage, deliberate effort falls away, and work becomes automatic. You aren't just following a process anymore. You've become a vessel for the algorithm itself. We often talk about manifesting our goals, but the reality is far more grounded. You are a biological machine executing active inference, hardwired to minimize thermodynamic surprise. Think of it like a thermostat. By setting your internal temperature to 72 degrees, you are aligning your actions to force reality to match your expectations. Don't just hope for warmth. Ignore the cold. Trust your programming and let the furnace burn. This is pure physics, not magic.